What's going on, everybody? Mr. Magz here. One of my favorite recent trends on YouTube has been the Can You Beat X Pokemon game with just one of Y Pokemon challenge videos. And since I am such a huge Pokemon fan but have never really attempted a challenge like this before, I thought it would be fun to try one for myself. So for my first challenge video, I will see if it is possible to beat Pokemon Platinum with just a single Mantyke. I figured Mantyke would make for a pretty good challenge due to its classification as a baby Pokemon, and its stats will make many trainers in the game difficult despite only having 2 weaknesses. Speaking of which, here are Mantyke's stats. Mantyke's special defense is a whopping base 120, which is higher than most fully evolved Pokemon. The rest of its stats are not as desirable, with its speed and special attack being okay, but I am not looking forward to that base 20 attack stat. Wing attack will be my main flying move for most of the game since it, for some reason, can't learn Air Slash until Gen 5, so even Gardenia might be trouble if I'm not at a high enough level. Its base 50 defense is also so low that most physical attackers will be a threat if I can't outspeed or one-shot. So this run has a chance of actually being very hard, especially for a first-timer. I think I can do it if I get my levels high enough and I get good enough confusion luck, but there are definitely certain fights like Volkner's electric Pokemon and all of Cynthia's that I am sure will be major roadblocks. Let's go over the rules for this run. I can only use Mantyke in battle, though there is one caveat that I'll explain later. No items in battle, only held items and items outside of battle, and no cheats aside of getting Mantyke at the start, though there is one unexpected exploit that I did run into and did not plan for that I will also explain later. Let me know down below if you think I can do it, and guess what level I have to be at to even attempt Cynthia. Let's do this. To start us off, I use a universal randomizer to swap Chimchar out for Mantyke. I figured Empoleon would be the hardest to fight later in the run, since I'd be able to one-shot both Infernape and Torterra, and Empoleon resists both my typing. Then it's on to the first rival fight. As expected, Tackle does almost nothing, and Bubble is resisted by Piplup. Supersonic ended up coming in so clutch, and I ended my first battle by actually taking no damage. Maybe I should do a no damage Mantyke only run. Sounds fun. So here are my Mantyke stats. It has the Calm nature, meaning less attack and higher special defense. So the stat that's already garbage will be even worse, and the stat that's fantastic will be even better. Great. Oh well, time to officially start my journey. And the first wild Starly ended my no damage run. Oh, guess I'll just stick to the boring Mantyke only part. Next up is the obligatory catching tutorial taught by Dawn and her Chimchar. I thought I was supposed to have Chimchar. That's weird. Now, with no further distraction, it's time to take on my first real trainer, and the run is already dead due to a crit. Well, that's embarrassing. I knew I would be losing quite a bit, but I didn't expect it to start this early. You know what? I was just joking. It's time to really start my adventure this time. I caught an HM Slave for good luck, and took on my first trainer for real this time. And this time, I got the crit for the win, so take that, youngster Tristan. Next, I head into Jubilife City, but I know I'm not yet ready for the next rival fight, so I train in the route above until I hit level 10 and learn Wing Attack or Bubble Beam. That works too. Using my new ability, I swept through my rival, although Piplup annoyingly still took 4 turns to take out. Then I head into Orberg City, told Rourke to get his butt back to the gym, and I take him on. And yeah, if you thought the Rock Gym would be hard at all, you'd be wrong. The only slight scare was that I thought Kranos might be faster, but he wasn't, and he still went down to 1 Bubble Beam, giving me my first badge. I then saw Team Galactic causing a ruckus in Jubilife, so I took them on with the help of Dawn and her not Chimchar. Okay, well Mantyke and her not Chimchar made short work of them. Now might be a good time to explain how I will deal with double battles in this run. I've decided that instead of having my HM Slaves faint in the back, like many challenge videos have, I will instead send them into battle only to either use non-damaging moves or attack Mantyke with Rock Smash in order to save time and make the run a little harder. If it ever looked like it mattered to have another Pokemon on my side, I did retry with only Mantyke. If anyone has a problem with that, let me know and I'll see about changing it for next time. I tried Commander Mars at level 18, but it's just not happening right now. Her Purugly is just too fast and I can't deal enough damage, so I try again at level 19, now knowing Agility. I get past her Zubat without getting poisoned and with an Agility up, but actually still would have lost had I not gotten that crit against her Purugly. I need to be more careful. Next up was an unexpected hurdle in the form of this last and her Pachirisu. I was so right to fear electric type because it outsped and two-shot me with Spark every time. Even at a level higher, I still needed to get a run where I got some combination of outspeeding it, two-shotting it, or not getting paralyzed to death to even stand a chance. Or so I thought. Until I got a run where it sparked Chansey instead, and I was easily able to two-shot that Devil Rat. Next up was Gardenia, who I knew would not be easy. The main problem I kept running into was that her Turtwig knows Reflect, which cuts my already abysmal attack even further. At level 26, I am not able to two-shot the Turtwig even without the Reflect up, and even if I did get a run where it never used Reflect, it would hit me with very potent Razor Leaves. The few times I got past Turtwig, Terran would either just use Leech Seed in my run, or Roserade would use Stun Spore. After getting to the Roserade for the first time, I gave Mantyke a Cherry Berry, but Roserade decided to just never hit me with Stun Spore ever again. I try again at level 28, but it's still just not happening. Even on my luckiest attempts, I still can't consistently two-shot the Cherrim, and Roserade still outspeeds me. 2 levels and 15 attempts after that, I finally got a run where things go in my favor. I'm able to two-shot Turtwig even with the Reflect up, get an Agility up on Cherrim without getting Leash Seeded, and then two-shot the Roserade after the Citrus Berry, while it wasted time using Stun Spore. Man, I knew Gardenia might be hard, but I didn't expect to have to get 8 levels higher than her strongest just for my flying moves to start being a little effective. Next up, I take on Commander Jupiter, and we actually have an easy battle for once. Just ignore the whole me living with only 3 health and also poisoned part. Then I make it a hard home, tell this weird French lady to get out of the contest hall, and challenge Fantina. I was not concerned about her team at all since my special defense was so high, and Haunter can't really hurt me with Shadow Claw. I was slightly concerned about Miss Magius using Confuse Ray, and that was a bit annoying, but I managed to take it out fairly easily with a crit Bubble Beam. Time for another rival fight, and there really isn't much to say about this one. I needed to be so high a level for Gardenia that I'm almost 10 levels higher than most trainers at this point, including my rival. So he swept through his team with little trouble. But we did learn Confuse Ray, which is a move I have been looking forward to learn ever since deleting Supersonic. So I make it a Veilstone and immediately challenge Maylene. This battle actually gave me a little more trouble than I was expecting. It was mostly bad due to Rock Tomb slowing me down and Lucario paralyzing, but after just a few attempts, I got a run where I was able to 3-shot Lucario easy enough. Weird that her strongest doesn't have a berry when it did in Diamond and Pearl. Next it's on to Pastoria and another rival fight. I'm starting to think that Grottle might have actually been a more challenging fight at this point in the game due to it knowing Razor Leaf, while Prinplup can't really hurt me, but I doubt it would have mattered too much in the end. Crasher Wake Time and his Gyarados turned out to be a huge brick wall. It's possible for me to beat it, but I'm left with so low health that Floatzel would just come in and revenge kill me with Crunch. I decided that it'd be best to just run away for now and come back when I'm a bit stronger. After grinding a few levels and getting enough shards to finally get rid of Wing Attack for Air Cutter, I retry Crasher Wake. Since Intimidate no longer hurts any of my moves, Gyarados goes down much easier this time. I then hit Quagsire with Hydro Pump since it doesn't have Water Absorb, and finally Floatzel goes down in just a few hits due to good confusion and crit luck. I then give these Psyducks some painkillers and almost lose to an Ace Trainer with a Luxio. Yeah, electric types are still terrifying. I enter Celestic Town and challenge the Galactic boss Cyrus. This battle took a few attempts due to some bad confusion and Screech luck, but I finally took him down with some good confusion luck of my own. I then teach Mantyke Surf, get the Mystic Water for added power, and spend literally all my money to get the TM for Ice Beam. And here is Mantyke's final moveset. I might miss the sheer power of Hydro Pump later on, but right now I see higher accuracy and more consistent moves as being key. Another town, another rival fight. With my new moves, literally none of his Pokemon stand a chance. Even his fully evolved Empoleon goes down in just a few surfs. I then get the Strength HM from Riley, but ditch him immediately because I have more important things to do, like obliterating Byron. Just like his son, Byron is another one-shot sweep with a strong water move. Easy. Turns out some terrorists blew up a lake, so I go do what everyone should do and punch those terrorists in the face. Then I flew over to the other lake and took on Commander Mars. She was the first major wall of this run, but needless to say, it didn't go that way in the rematch, and I took her out with very little trouble. Then I trekked through the worst route in the game, make it to Snow Point, and challenge Candace. I actually had quite a bit of trouble with her. It was one of those fights where I'm sure if I had leveled up a few more times I probably could have done it more easily, but I was determined to beat her at level 60. I fought her so many times, I got it down to a science what my win condition needed to be. I needed a run where Sneasel needed to leave me at no less than 115 HP, so I could survive 2 blizzards if I needed to. The main problem was that Abomasnow needed to go down from 1 crit air cutter or get confused twice in order for me to not get hit by Woodhammer. If I were to get hit with Woodhammer, I would need to go into Frostlass with no less than 40 health in order to live a blizzard and win with a crit before taking hail damage. I threw myself at this gym so many times until I finally got a run where everything went exactly how I needed to in order to get my 7th gym badge. I may have cried a little bit after that win. I then helped my rival with his lady problems and chased the coward Jupiter back to Veilstone. There I stormed Galactic HQ and took on Cyrus again. This match also took a few tries due to some bad confusion and damage roll luck, but I finally got a run where I got better confusion luck than he did and narrowly beat the Honchkrow for the win. I then punched Saturn in the face again for being mean to some fairies and then chased them up Mount Coronet. With the help of my rival, I took on both Mars and Jupiter. This battle also took a few tries due to one of the Bronzor always using Light Screen, cutting my Surf's power even further, but I finally got a run where I got a crit on that Bronzor so it never set up the screen. This also put them in a position where both Skuntank and Perugly were intimidated by his Staraptor at the same time, and it was smooth sailing from there, though it probably would have been even harder without my rival's help. Then some weird stuff happened, and Giratina straight up eats Cyrus, so I have to go in and save him. You know, the distortion world is always something I found very cool, if not kind of tedious. It's definitely something I really hope they expand on in the remake that we all know is coming. But no time to think about that because it's time to take on Cyrus one last time, and it's not happening at this level. Weavile is just too fast and hits too hard, so I decided to save some time and go ahead and feed Mantyke 4 rare candies I collected and try again. 20 attempts later at level 70, I finally get a run where I get the confusion and crit luck necessary to seal the victory. I feel most major battles in this run end with me saying that. So then I obliterate Giratina with 1 crit and step through the portal back to dry land. I then enter Sunyshore, told the bane of my existence to get his mopey butt back to the gym, and took on Volkner. Volkner has been the single trainer I have been dreading the most throughout the entire playthrough. His electric types have the chance to one-shot me with almost any move, especially his Electivire. But in order to even see his ace, I need to get past the Jolteon, which is hard because it seems to always go for Thunder Wave and I can't one-shot it. There was one run where I finally got to Electivire, but he didn't hurt himself enough and 1 Thunder Punch took me out. I probably could do it if I kept throwing myself at him, but I decided to just return when I'm a few levels higher. 15 attempts later at level 75, I finally get a run where I'm able to knock out the Jolteon and Raichu in 1 hit, confuse the Luxray, ×2 for Electivire, and then crit for the win. Oh, with that out of the way, I finally make my way up to the victory road and ready to start the last leg of my journey. So I enter Victory Road, get beat up by this one ace trainer with the Magnezone, but then manage to exit the cave with no other major complications. After reaching the Pokemon League, it's time for my last rival fight. This is actually the first and only rival that gave me any kind of trouble due to his new Snorlax. It hits like a truck and tends to leave me paralyzed, but I do finally get a run where he only hits me once with no paralysis. His other members go down easily as always, though his Empoleon did take 3 hits to take out this time, and that's the end for my rival. I then tell this nerd to get out of my way and it's time to finally take on the Elite Four. But first, let's look at Mantyke's stats. Special defense is fantastic as expected, and speed and special attack are okay, but not as high as I would have liked. I am still worried about certain things like Lucian's Gallade if I can't one-shot it or get good confusion luck, since it knows Stone Edge and still all of Cynthia's Pokemon. The rest of the Elite Four should be fairly easy though. Let's do this. The first member, Aaron's Bug types went down quickly and easily to a couple of air cutters, though his Drapion did deal a pretty big chunk of damage to me since I did one-shot it with Surf. The ground member, Bertha, was an expectedly easy sweep with Surfs and Ice Beams as well. Time for the fire member, Flint. It turns out his Infernape is faster and no Thunder Punch, which did not feel good. I would have been fine though if not for Flareon knowing Quick Attack. Okay, let's try again. On the second attempt, Thunder Punch left me with more health, so I was able to live Flareon's Quick Attack and outspeed Rapidash for the win. Lucian's the one I was very concerned about though. For starters, his Mr. Mime knows Thunderbolt, which would really hurt, but luckily it always went for Reflect for some reason. I was right to fear his Gallade since I'm not ever able to two-shot it, and Stone Edge really hurts my low defense. With better Confusion Lock, it looks possible though. I come back after losing to Flint a few more times, and this time I get better Confusion Luck to two-shot Gallade. I now have enough health left to live against Espeon and Alakazam, who both outspeed me. Weird that he didn't heal his Gallade or Alakazam, but did heal Bronzong though. And with that, there's only one more trainer in the way of me and my kite becoming champions. Time to take on the champion herself, Cynthia. And it's also time for another montage. I am able to take out Spiritomb consistently while taking very little damage, but the problems start with Togekiss. It knows Shockwave, which really hurts my Water Flying type, but I am able to two-shot it with Ice Beam. Then Lucario is also an issue. If I can't confuse it enough, it seems to always hit with Stone Edge. On runs where I don't get hit with Stone Edge, Garchomp outspeeds and hits with Dragon Rush. On runs where I get past Garchomp, her Milotic walls me out and knows Mirror Coat to boot. After 20 tries, I decide to cut my losses and try again when I'm a bit stronger. Here are my stats at level 85. Speed and Special Attack are better, but I still don't know if it'll be enough. Let's try again. Even at level 85, I still have serious trouble in the same areas. Togekiss still hits hard with Shockwave, Lucario still hits hard with Stone Edge, and Garchomp still outspeeds. Even on my luckiest runs, either Garchomp hits with Dragon Rush or my Milotic still walls me. I did finally get a run where things started going in my favor. I got a crit on Togekiss, Lucario got confused and I one-shot it, Dragon Rush missed, and my Milotic's Mirror Coat left me with 8, but then it crit with Ice Beam. I try again, and I again crit the Togekiss, Lucario with a one-shot, Garchomp missed, my Milotic left me with 8 HP and then crit with an Ice Beam. Wait a minute. Crit on Togekiss, one-shot after Confusion, Dragon Rush miss, my Milotic got a crit. It's the same run 3 times in a row? So, I don't know if it's a glitch with the save state I'm using or if Pokemon games are actually programmed like this, but it turns out that every single move I make already has a set outcome that will always happen in the same order no matter how many times I try it. If I go for an Ice Beam before Confuse Ray, I will still crit the Togekiss, but Lucario doesn't go down in one hit, and this happens every time. I feel like I'm in Steins Gate, where I know the ideal future I need to get to, I just need to try changing literally every single variable to see if I eventually get the desired results. I probably should have just backed down and tried a double team strat or something, but I was determined to see if there was a timeline that landed me a victory. Finally, after trying probably 50 different timelines, I found one where Lucario got frozen and I finally got to see my Milotic again. I don't even think I could recreate the order of the sequence of moves I used against this Milotic, but I legitimately believe that this is the only sequence of moves that would allow me to even attempt Roserade. So when I finally got to Roserade, I took no chances with this thing. I confused it immediately, went for Air Cutter, got a critical hit, and won to become champion. My roommate, who got very invested in this process, and I literally jumped out of our seats and cheered that it was finally over. We finally found the one timeline that allowed us to win. And me and my Mantyke officially make it into the Hall of Fame. If anyone sees this as me using an exploit to win, you're probably right. And I did try it with a second save state at a higher level just in case, and was able to beat her at 95 after a few tries. But I feel like this exploit resulted in a more interesting experience, and it felt right based on the journey Mantyke and I have been through. And man, what a journey it was. There were battles I didn't expect to be hard, and the battles I did expect to be hard were even harder. If I were to try it over again, I probably would have given my rival a Turtwig instead, since it would have been harder throughout, and also I would have EV trained in special attack and speed more than I did, which was basically none. But overall, this was actually really fun, and I would love to try more of these in the future. Let me know what you thought down below, and tell me if you think I should do another one of these, and any pointers for next time. Until then, take care, guys.